Hey everyone, and welcome back to our series, That's What He Said. Today I want to talk to you about being solid gold, and you are solid gold, baby, solid gold. Now, this is not even an inside joke, but this is kind of something that my dad and I hold very close to our hearts. I don't think I even meant for it to be this much of a big deal now. I mean, I literally have a tattoo of it, which I'll put somewhere on the screen. And this quote means a lot to me for a multitude of reasons. So in order to understand it, we have to head back to I think it was my freshman year of college. So I was 16 going into college. I think I had just turned 17 the week that classes started. And I was 4 hours away. I really didn't know the gravity of going to college, I don't think. Like, I was just like, this is fine, I'll be fine. Girl, I was not fine. I was not fine. I missed home a lot. I was really struggling. And one day, I think I'm pretty sure, actually, I'm 100% sure that my dad started writing the letters. So I went to check my mail and I got a letter. And I'm like, who's writing me a letter? That's kind of weird. And then I open it and literally, I don't even think I got a sentence in and I was already sobbing. And he signed the letter, "You are solid gold, baby, solid gold." And I don't know why I was like, this is the best thing I've ever heard. I mean, I don't know. Again, maybe it's because I'm a words person. Maybe because I thought it was funny or I thought it was cute. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I thought, but I was like, surely that's it. So I write him a letter back. And I think I mentioned something about the solid gold thing in the letter. I'm sure he has it. I know I have all of my letters still, and I normally don't keep things, but letters are, one of those things I keep. So I have all of his letters in a filing cabinet upstairs. I'm sure I could find it somewhere. I might have to. So we're writing letters back and forth. It gets to either my junior or senior year. I think it was my senior year. It was maybe right before I started student teaching. And we had written letters back and forth. I'd switched schools at this point. So now I'm not 4 hours away, I'm only 45 minutes, but that still I just felt like a disconnect there a little bit. And at this point, I was in my own apartment, about to start student teaching, and I remember there was a specific letter I remember where it was 2 pages long, and I had gone through some really challenging stuff in, my personal relationships and love life and so on. And I remember I read that letter, and I just literally started sobbing. And then at the end of it, he was like, you'll find somebody who thinks you're solid gold, pretty much. Like, that was the gist of the letter. It was so funny because that was the same day, or close to the same day, that my friend was like, hey, do you want to go get tattoos? And I was like, yeah, I do, because from my dad, realized that I'm a little bit impulsive sometimes. And if you know me well, you're probably laughing at this part. So I'm like, yeah, let's go. So I'm thinking we go get tattoos, like, I don't know, like 2 days from now, even like I have time to think. No. We're going an hour from then. I literally had to get ready. I didn't even think about it, but I knew, I was like, man, I really want to get this tattooed on me. Like, I just thought, I was like, that's a great idea. I texted my dad and I was like, hey, can you send me your handwriting of "You are solid gold, baby, solid gold"? Send it. Good, done. He sends me back his handwriting, and I don't think he realized, I think I told my mom, and she was like, oh my gosh, are you getting a tattoo? And that poor woman, I make her gray all the time. But my dad, I don't think he put 2 and 2 together right away. So I'm going, I get the tattoo, and I send him a picture. And I think the first thing he sent back was, I would have had better handwriting had I known you're getting this tattooed on you. And I was like, no, that's what makes it good. So as I'm going through college, and college was really hard for me. I think I have a tendency, again, people know me, who know me are going to laugh at this part, but I have a tendency to make things harder than they need to be. So I made college harder than it needed to be. However, I would come back to that quote a lot just as a reminder, you are solid gold. Like, you're not as bad as your brain tries to make you think you are. You're not as bad as the test score that you thought was awful and it was just a B. Like, simmer down, Faith, you're fine. I think this goes into life now, and, I want you to take something from this, obviously, and that is, first off, you are solid gold, literally solid gold, and you have all this potential, you have all this purpose. Things are good, and you are good, and you have this potential, so you get to use that. And every time that I look at that, whether I reread one of the letters, which I'm guilty that I do that a lot, especially when I'm really stressed, I definitely go back to that as a reminder, and maybe you need that, but you are solid gold. So that mindset of being and doing more than you think you can, or, having the imposter syndrome, which I've definitely struggled with a lot, being young and kind of like coming into college, and then being young as a first year teacher. I was only 20 when I started my first year. I mean, you get that imposter syndrome, but then to combat that, reminding yourself of your value, your worth, your purpose, your intention, all of those things, those are what make you solid gold. It's not anything that you aren't doing perfect enough, or you're not doing this way or that way, or you should be this experience in that way. No, I mean, you are solid gold, baby. Solid gold. And remind yourself of that, because we often get lost in the shuffle of things, and you don't need a tattoo of it, but you could certainly use it as maybe a daily affirmation. You could use it as a mindset reminder that you're solid gold, getting to do all the things that you do every day, and how we shouldn't really take that for granted. Or maybe it's just, hey, right now in this moment, you need the reminder that you are solid gold. You're not as bad as your brain likes to trick you into thinking. You are doing a great job. You're doing enough, probably more than enough. And you're allowed to have bad days. You're allowed to have good days. But remember in all of those days that you are solid gold. You don't need to get a tattoo to prove it, though. With that being said, maybe write a letter to someone too. I don't know if this will encourage you to write a letter to yourself, to somebody else. Who knows? I'm a letters person, I'm a words person. I highly recommend that maybe you do that and let them know that they're solid gold as well. But you're doing enough, you are enough, you're more than enough, doing more than enough. So take this as a reminder, as an affirmation that you are solid gold. And I thank you so much for watching this episode, and I will see you next time on That's What He Said.